Imagine this, a dog left alone, sitting in an empty yard, crying out into the night. His family gone, his heart broken. This is not just any story. It's Max's story, and it's one that will change the way you see the world. German shepherds are known for their loyalty, their strength, and their unwavering bond with their families. But what happens when that bond is shattered? What happens when the family they trust abandons them? This is the story of Max, a companion who gave everything, only to find himself left behind, crying for someone to care. Max wasn't always alone. Just weeks before his world fell apart, he was the pride and joy of his family. Laughter filled the house as his paws pattered across the floor, and his family would spend hours playing fetch in the yard. But everything changed when they faced hard times. A move out of town, a fresh start. Except Max wasn't part of it. The day they left, the door to Max's world closed. His food bowl sat empty. The once vibrant yard where he had bounded with joy became his prison. Days turned into nights, and Max waited faithfully by the gate, expecting the people he loved to return. But no one came. His cries, heart-wrenching, desperate pleas for the life he once knew, became the sound of the empty neighborhood. At first, the neighbors noticed, but instead of acting, they assumed someone would come back for him. A day, 2 days, a week. Surely someone would return, but no one ever did. Soon, Max's desperation turned to visible pain. He searched for scraps among discarded trash, his ribs beginning to show beneath his once glossy coat. His trust in people was fading with every passerby who ignored his cries. They'd glance at him through their car windows or from the other side of fences. Some pitied him. Others thought he must belong to someone. But the truth was chilling. Max belonged to no one. One evening, a storm rolled in. Thunder crashed above as Max shivered in the corner of the yard he once called home. The rain drenched his fur, but no one came to let him inside. The yard that once felt warm and secure had become an unrelenting reminder of how alone he was. But even in his pain, he continued to cry. He cried for help. He cried for hope. And while most turned a deaf ear, little did Max know that someone, just one person, was finally about to listen. On a quiet morning, as Max lay curled up near the gate, too weak to lift his head, a sound broke through the stillness. Soft footsteps, cautious but deliberate. Laura had walked past this yard many times, always noticing the forlorn shepherd. But today was different. Today something told her to stop. She couldn't ignore the hollowness in Max's eyes, the way his frail frame seemed to beg for relief, even without a sound. "Hey, buddy," she whispered, kneeling by the fence. Her voice was gentle but trembling. Max glanced up, his dark eyes wary and guarded. He had learned that humans didn't always bring comfort. Still, there was something about her tone, a kindness he hadn't felt in what seemed like an eternity. Laura extended her hand through the bars, her heart breaking as Max hesitated, his body stiff with fear. But then, slowly, he sniffed the air. There it was, a glimmer of trust. It wasn't much, but it was enough. She stayed there for hours that day, coaxing him closer, letting him feel the warmth of a gentle touch again. It didn't end there. Laura didn't just leave him behind like so many others had. She started coming back every day, bringing food and water, her soft words breaking through the walls Max had built around himself. Each visit chipped away at the fear that had gripped his heart for so long. Then one fateful day, Max made his choice. Laura opened the gate, and instead of cowering, Max took a tentative step forward, One step, then two. With each stride, he walked closer to her, leaving behind not just the yard, but the shadows of his past. For the first time in weeks, Max wagged his tail, a small, shaky movement that signaled the start of something new. Laura didn't just see a dog that needed help. She saw a soul that deserved a second chance. And in that moment, Max found not just a rescuer, but a friend who would never let him be alone again. Max's journey didn't end the moment he stepped out of that yard. It was just the beginning. For weeks he lived cautiously in Laura's home, his every step hesitant, as if fearing it might all be taken away. But Laura had made a promise, one she intended to keep. Max would never feel abandoned again. The first breakthrough came with a warm meal. Laura placed a bowl of food in front of him, and as he ate, his body trembled, not from fear, but from relief. Slowly but surely, Max began to reclaim pieces of the life he once knew. Baths became a ritual of trust. Soft blankets and quiet evenings on the couch replaced cold nights in the rain. And for the first time in so long, Max began to feel safe. As days turned into weeks, Max's true spirit began to shine. The once silent dog, who had been too scared to make a sound, started barking again, this time not out of desperation, but joy. His favorite toy became an old tennis ball, and he would chase it tirelessly across Laura's backyard, his tail wagging like a flag of triumph. The sparkle returned to his eyes, and that sparkle was everything Laura needed to know. She had done the right thing. And then something magical happened. Laura realized that Max wasn't just healing physically. He was teaching her something profound about resilience, love, and the power of a second chance. In giving him a home, she discovered what it truly meant to open her heart. Max, once broken and forgotten, became her loyal shadow, following her wherever she went, reminding her every day that the greatest bonds are formed in the darkest times. Max had gone from being the dog no one wanted to the dog who was loved beyond measure. His story became a testament to how a single act of kindness could change not just a life, but a world. And as Max lay peacefully at Laura's feet one evening, content and finally at ease, it was clear. His cries had been answered, his journey had come full circle, and his heart was full once more. Max's story is more than just a tale of rescue. It's a reminder of the thousands of animals out there, still waiting for someone to listen. For every Max, there are countless others crying for help, longing for a chance to feel love, safety, and belonging. But here's the truth. We all have the power to make a difference. Whether it's adopting a pet in need, volunteering at a local shelter, or even spreading awareness about animal rescue, every small act counts. Because to a dog like Max, that single moment of care can change their life forever. Right now, shelters are filled with animals waiting for someone like you, waiting for a friend to answer their cries. Don't turn away. Don't wait for someone else to act. Be the one who says, "I'll help." Visit your local shelter, look into adoption options, or contribute to rescue organizations near you. Together we can rewrite stories like Max's, stories of heartbreak that turn into triumph. Remember, for every one of us who takes a stand, there's a Max out there who gets to find their happy ending. So, what will you do today? Because when one cry for help is answered, a life is saved, and you just might discover it changes yours too. Max now lies peacefully beside Laura, his days of despair long behind him. His wagging tail and contented eyes tell a story of hope, resilience, and love. He isn't just a dog who was rescued, he's a testament to the difference one person can make. And here's the thing, It doesn't take a hero to change a life. It takes a heart willing to listen and a hand ready to reach out. Max's cries were heard and his story was rewritten, but so many others are still waiting for someone like you. So the next time you hear a cry for help, will you listen? Because sometimes saving a life doesn't just make a difference for them, it changes everything for you. Be the reason a story like Max's exists. Hear the cries, answer the call, and together, let's make sure no soul is ever left to cry alone again.